hustle is going to be a bit too much for Golden State to overcome, and they pull away late. I'm predicting the Lakers win 115-103.
For the first time today, I agree with you, Stephen A., and for the reasons you just outlined. And I want to say one more thing. That record, the head-to-head record that everyone brings up to make it sound like it's a rivalry between Steph and LeBron is so misleading. Steph has had the better teammates by far, which is why when you see the individual matchup, LeBron is stomping him out. It's not close. It's not. He's as good as two Steph Currys when it matters most, as two of them, but at least 1.5 Stephs. Steph has had better teammates. Now, LeBron has better teammates. So for that reason, while I agree with Stephen A's analysis and conclusion, it's going to be close, I want to point out the record between the two will get a little bit closer.
Okay. How many threes, Stephen A, does Steph get tonight?
How many threes?
Yeah, how many threes?
8.
8? Max?
Yeah, I think that's about right. He'll take 12 or 13, like 8 of them.
How many points does he need, though, to get the JOB done? That's the real question.
45.
Hey, not impossible by any means.
No.
All right, Stephen A., you have fun tonight, the pregame show out of L.A. We will be back here tomorrow. All the reaction, again, we will be on the Deuce, ESPN2. LA tonight in the play-in tournament. The loser of this game faces elimination on Friday. Steph and LeBron have scored off 38 times, 22 of those coming in the playoffs. And although LeBron has the edge in scoring, rebounding, and assists, it's Curry who has him where it counts in the win column.
Yes, the edge in
Curry's
teammates.
15-7 versus James in the postseason and 22-16 overall. Stephen A., who's the most important player not named LeBron or Steph in tonight's play-in game?
Believe it or not, I think it's Andrew Wiggins. Somebody that I was quoted as saying I wouldn't give away for a box of cookies. I wouldn't give a box of cookies away to get them. Here's my thing about the former number 1 overall pick. Andrew Wiggins can play, but that's why I said what I said. Because for every game that he drops big numbers and big buckets, he's a virtual non-factor in the next 5. He just seems to be one of those guys whose numbers don't appear to be impactful almost at any time he plays. And that's what I find disappointing. I never, ever would say he's a scrub and he can't play. He can play. The problem is because he can play, you would expect so much more from him if he had the kind of fire that you're looking for from him. But everybody knows he's been devoid of that throughout his entire career. Jimmy Butler lamented that when they were in Minnesota. Others have lamented it in NBA circles as well. And I think that if he shows up tonight and plays big, because Draymond's going to do what he's going to do. And, you got other guys like Jordan Poole and others. They're going to just do whatever they can. Steph Curry, he's the head of the snake. He's going to try to, save the day, all of that other stuff. But somebody's got to step up and say, Steph don't have Clay. So here I am. Give me the damn ball too. Let's do this. You got to have that kind of attitude. And if Andrew Wiggins has that kind of attitude and is able to put up plus 25 a game, this game could be very, very interesting. The Lakers could be in some trouble. He's about 6'7", 6'8". He's got good enough size. He can make things happen. He's got athleticism. Can he do it? I think that's what makes him important, because I think that's the only thing that gives the Golden State Warriors a chance to win this game.
I'm sorry, Molly. That answer was so ridiculous. I need to make sure that I understand the question. Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, most important player not named LeBron or Steph in tonight's playing game.
Yeah.
And Anthony Davis is playing in the game. Mm-hmm. And Stephen A. Smith's answer is Andrew Wiggins.
I'm not worried about Anthony Davis.
Box of cookies, right?
I know
you brought it up because I could have sworn. I'm glad you brought it up because I could have sworn for a box of cookies.
I did say that.
So what would you trade AD for? What do you like? Chris Rock, 1 rib. How much is 1 rib, right? Like, what would you trade AD for if Andrew Wiggins is more important than Anthony Davis? Anthony Davis might wind up to be the most important player in the game, period. He is on the LeBron Steph level. When you talk about the best players in the game, AD's name is in that conversation. And you want to take a guy like Andrew Wiggins, you could say, well, he has an impact, and for 5 games he doesn't. Andrew Wiggins is a good player. He's not an all-star. He's a good player. AD is an MVP caliber player. AD is so great that just with LeBron alone, they don't need a big three, according to many. Just those two guys. Perk was on here earlier saying they can defend their title in this league, in this Western Conference, with a big three in the Nets. Why? Not because LeBron's alone. When LeBron was alone, they couldn't do anything. Because LeBron has Anthony Davis, who is the only argument that AD is not the third most important player in this game is that he's the second or first most important. You want to make that argument? That's better than saying he's at best the fourth most important player in the game.
I specifically talked about how Anthony Davis was a top 5 player on the planet. We take for granted what he's going to do, and I'm taking it for granted here. He's LeBron James' teammate. Take LeBron and Steph aside. We know what they have. Just like I mentioned Draymond Green. We know what to expect from Draymond Green in terms of being that point forward and a facilitator and a defender and all of that other stuff. When I answer the question about the most important player not named LeBron or Steph, I'm talking about an X factor that could potentially help dictate an unexpected outcome. Anthony Davis is a given. LeBron is a given. Steph is a given. Whatever you're going to get from Draymond Green is a given. What's the thing you can't take for granted? What's the wild card? That's how I'm okay. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about somebody that's obvious like Anthony Davis. We know he's the top 5 player on the planet.
I got it. You were answering a different question.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay,
but to me, it's the same question. The most important player not named LeBron or Steph. I'm looking at it that way because I'm taking for granted Anthony Davis and LeBron.
Let's keep it rolling. Lakers favored by 5. Stephen.
Man, name. We lost our mind debating with you. Yeah, you lost, all right. They want all this smoke. Hurry up.
Yes, you know what it is. It's time for a new segment.
Carry
on. Max and Stephen A, listen up. Big Perk has something he wants to get off his chest, but these are the rules. You cannot interrupt him until he finishes. Perk, floor is yours.
Molly, New York stand up. Tom Thibodeau, culture changer, Worldwide West, Julius Randle, most improved, Derrick Rose, 6th Man of the Year candidate, Spike Lee and Stephen A. outside the Spike Lee studio, drinking that moonshine, chanting orange and blue skies. But guess what? It's about to get cloudy for the New York Knicks in the first round because they're going to get beat by the Atlanta Hawks. Yes, I'm picking the Atlanta Hawks in the first round of the playoffs against the New York Knicks. They have a superior superstar that is underrated in Trae Young, averaging 25 and 9 assists a night. They have a defensive player of the year candidate in Clint Capella that's giving you 15 points, 14 rebounds, and 2 blocks. And they have another unsung hero who people don't talk about enough, who could also be in the conversation of most improved, and that's John Collins, giving you 17 and 8 a night. They have so many offensive weapons, from Bogdanovich to Lemon Pepper Lou to Gallinari. And by the way, they are well coached by Nate McMillan. I have the Atlanta Hawks beating the New York Knicks in the first round. Carry the hell on.
How dare you? How dare you? How dare you spew that blasphemy on this show to come up here in the morning? I was in a good mood. How dare you do this, Kendrick Perkins? I'm going to deal with you later because, Molly, I got a Sports Center with Stephen A. coming up tonight.
Hey.
The NBA preview show. And Kendrick Perkins going to be in the house. I'm going to see you in person. You're going to have to deal with me. How dare you? How dare you do something like that? Now, I understand what you're saying. Because Nate McMillan can coach, and I'm so proud of him, and I'm happy that he's in Atlanta instead of Indiana. Nate McMillan in Indiana just didn't seem right. Him and the ATL seems far more apropos, okay? Trae Young can ball, Collins can ball, Clint Capella, Gallinari, don't bring him up, please. He gonna fight. He might panic the second he walk into the Garden, okay? I ain't worried about him. The New York Knicks, okay? New York stand up. One of the top defenses in the National Basketball Association, an MVP candidate in Julius Randle. RJ Barrett's been playing well. We understand that playoff basketball, things slow down, okay? It gets a little physical.